we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done.
Good morning from Sweden. So as you can tell, I am no longer in Zimbabwe. I managed to make my way back home safely, and today I wanted to tell you the story of how we made it back home from Africa in the midst of a global pandemic. But to tell you the story, I wanted to take you to a special place here. So let's head out there. This is our ride for the today. So my sister has a little moped car and we're taking this to the special place.
We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.
So we're inside the moped car. We have our travel snacks, and yeah, I hope you can hear me because this car is very, very loud, and we usually jam out to high music. So let's head to the secret spot.
Back to who I used to be. So if you ever leave me, promise you won't let me down.
So, welcome to our secret spot here. This is a place close to where we live, which we've been coming to ever since we were little. And it's a place where I can just relax and be calm. So, yeah, welcome here. So, my last video was from when we were in Victoria Falls, exploring the beautiful waterfalls there. And the day after, we had our final day in Zimbabwe, and that morning we woke up to a public announcement that they were having in the speakers of the town, and they were talking in their local language, but they were very clearly talking about the virus, because we could, you know, kind of tell certain words. So once we heard that, we ran down to the reception of the hotel we were staying at, and yeah, they said it was a public announcement telling people to take, you know, precautions and be careful and everything like that. And from that point, everything kind of changed, or had changed overnight. The day before, you couldn't really, you know, tell of the virus in Victoria Falls, but the day after, all places had incorporated social distancing. People were wearing masks, there was hand sanitizers everywhere, you had to wash your hands if you entered anywhere. So yeah, it really turned very fast, and we at that point kind of realized the seriousness of the whole situation. That night we had our final dinner with the remaining people on the group. We were very few because most of them had actually already been able to return back home. And we had a very lovely dinner together, but the day after, me, Kathleen and Andrew had booked a flight to Cape Town. Good morning, an update from Zimbabwe. It's the 21st of March. We're trying to leave Victoria Falls. We're going to head to the airport, wish us luck, and hopefully the next time I'll see you, we have arrived and been able to enter Cape Town, South Africa. See you there. And you might wonder, why did we fly to Cape Town? Well, it was because we had our return flight, our original return flight from Cape Town back home to Sweden, because the tour was going to end in Cape Town. The easiest way for us to be able to get back home would be to change our original flight. But we had tried to do this before arriving to Cape Town, but the customer service for the airline that we were using, we just couldn't get through to them. So we kind of risked it and we booked a flight to Cape Town. And when we arrived to Victoria Falls Airport, I honestly thought that it was closed because there were like no people there. And there were only, I think, 2 flights leaving that day. The rest were cancelled. So we were very lucky that our flight wasn't cancelled. We just arrived to the airport and I was really scared at first because it's totally deserted. We looked at the board, it looks like the Kenya Airways flight to Cape Town is still running, but we're going to try to check in now. And the whole thing just felt so surreal. And we actually were very lucky because we were one of the last flights out of Zimbabwe. I have to say as well, I was very, very pleasantly surprised by Kenya Airways. I thought it was a really good airline. We flew with them to Cape Town.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cape Town.
And when we landed in Cape Town, they had screenings. You had to fill in a form with symptoms, where you'd been, all these things. And just a few days back, South Africa had actually announced that they were not letting in people coming from countries like America, England, and certain countries weren't actually allowed to enter. So, but as we were coming from Zimbabwe and we'd been traveling for about 2 months, so we hadn't been in Europe for 2 months, so that's why we were actually let in. But when we arrived, it was complete chaos. It was people trying to get home and people were panicking, and it was just a very, very unsettling feeling. And I kind of got an instinct to say that we can't stay here. We have to get home as soon as possible. I knew that there was a flight to Frankfurt from Cape Town at 6 o'clock that evening. And we landed around 1 o'clock during the day. And I told Catalina that we have to try and make it on this flight tonight. Because who knows when we would be able to get back home. So I went to the service desk of the airline and I stood there for 5 hours. I did not leave, I did not eat, I did not go to the bathroom. I just stood there. So we were able to get on a standby list because the flight was completely full, it was overbooked. And while I was standing at this desk, there were crew coming from the airline getting on a crew list to be able to also get on this flight. So we were a lot of people wanting to get on this flight. And also the standby list was so long. And the guy at the service desk told me that check-in closes at 5:30. And then you will know if you have a spot on the flight. The check-in closed, it was 5:40. And they started announcing the people that had made it on the flight. And they called our names. And from then, it just all is kind of a blur. We ran to the check-in desk, checked in our bags, ran through the airport, said goodbye to my contact, and made it on the flight just in time for departure. The flight was jam-packed, and yeah, we just set off, and we saw, Cape Town in the background while the sun was setting, and both of us, we were crying because it all had just come to an end so quickly. I think 2 days after we arrived back home, South Africa went into complete lockdown. That makes me so grateful that we were actually able to get on this flight. This whole situation has just turned everyone's life upside down and things are so uncertain. It's a strange time to be living, but I hope that we can continue to travel soon again. But I don't know when that will be, but in the meantime, I'm just going to try and enjoy the moment and explore places close by instead. That was the story. The next video will be a video from Sweden, so I'll see you next time.